The wall of Gaylord?
Isn't it nice to finally display your accomplishments, son?
Yeah.
These travel coaches have brought back the participation trophy. Coach Clay here. Today, let's talk participation trophies, participation ribbons. Back in the day, we're talking 10, 15 years ago, I think that the participation trophy, the participation medal was running rampant.
Not about winning or losing.
And for good reason. Kids were starting into sports at younger ages, and parents and coaches and league organizers were looking to get kids excited about playing so they could increase enrollment. As a parent, I wanted my kid to just think playing baseball was the best. I wanted them to have only good memories of baseball. And let's face it, when kids are 4 and 5 years old, they only know what you tell them. So when you give them a trophy, they think that's pretty cool. Participation trophies, 4 or 5 years old, are they harming anybody? No. Are they setting a bad example as you get older? I don't think kids can process it quite yet. But if you took them away, is it a big deal? No. I think parents and coaches can replace those participation trophies with milkshakes after the game or some other kind of incentive or celebration to make the environment around the sport and going to games a lot of fun and really special. So if it was up to me, I would probably take them away. And most leagues in my area here in Middle Tennessee have really done away with the participation trophy. One of the most shared stories that came through my social media feed was in 2015 when All-Pro NFL defensive end James Harrison made his kids return a participation ribbon that his kids had gotten at a football camp. James Harrison made no bones about it. He did not like that his kids were giving something for just showing up and participating. He wanted his kids to only receive that kind of accolade if they had earned it. At the time, 8, 10 years ago, there was a big exodus in baseball and softball of some of the higher level players leaving recreational ball and finding travel teams or creating travel teams in order to seek a more serious, more competitive environment that was better for developing their kids, their competitive instincts, which brings me to the last year or so when these travel coaches have brought back the participation trophy. And they had brought back the participation trophy into an environment that's supposed to be serious, competitive, and teach our kids about the realities of winning and losing.
I think a competitive drive is the essential key that makes America the only remaining superpower in the world today.
I will give you a perfect example. My team received one of these participation trophies in this past season. So let's look at the Tennessee Game 7 Spring Blast. We played in that. Everybody plays 2 games on Saturday. After all the teams play 2 games, they put 8 teams in the top bracket and then drop the bottom 7 teams, and you can see us there at number 9, Fortress, into the lower bracket. So on Sunday, you basically have 2 tournaments going on. You have a top flight tournament and you have a bottom flight tournament. So the top 8 teams, pretty typically the better 8 teams, they played for the championship. And one of those teams was 2-0 and ran the table on Sunday, winning 2 or 3 games to win the title. And they were the champions of the Spring Blast. Down in our bracket, the lower bracket, we had the bottom 7 teams, and we won some close games, managed to win 3 in a row, and it was a good Sunday, and our team came out on top of the bottom bracket. So in essence, we finished a solid 9th place.
They made 9th place ribbons.
Oh, Jack, they got them all the way up to 10th place.
Here's where the participation trophy comes in.
We received this beautiful championship ring for coming out on top of the bottom bracket, which meant my team was super excited to finish lower than half the teams that started that tournament and perform less than half the teams over those 2 days.
And I clearly explained to him what that ring meant. It meant that we were in ninth place. It meant that we had a good Sunday, that we had won all the games that they put in front of us on one day. I made them understand that this organization is going to throw 30, 35 tournaments this year. They're going to give away 280, 300 rings. And if you don't win one weekend, you can sign up and try to win one the next weekend. And if you sign up for that tournament and you see that a lot of good teams have signed up for that tournament, you can always switch and go down the road to another tournament that doesn't have as good of teams. If this is awful, if this is not the spirit of travel, competitive tournament baseball or softball, why do these tournament organizers do it? Why don't they just give a ring to the weekend champion and then give little ribbons to the second place and the second flight champion and the third place champion, the third flight champion? Why don't they just give these ribbons? Well, I am in a group with a number of former college and professional baseball players, and a lot of them have gone on after their playing days to continue in the sport by organizing these events as a business. And several of them did try to only give the rings out to the top flight champion. And what happened was their enrollment in all of their tournaments immediately dropped. If they did not offer rings for first and second place on all three flights, nobody would sign up. In order to run their tournaments, they had to offer the 17th and 18th place rings. The responsibility really falls on the coaches here. And the coaches, maybe they're getting pushed by the parents and they don't want to fight it. And they're like, look, we'll sign up for the tournaments where half the kids come home with rings. If that's not a participation trophy, I don't know what is. I told my team our goal moving forward was to win on Saturday and to make the top bracket. A couple of our players, when they found out we made the top bracket the next week, were a little bummed because they felt like they didn't have a very good chance of winning a ring. But that's where we needed to be, and that was our goal, to get into the top bracket and to play the toughest teams. This whole video could have been a Coach Clay's pet peeve, because when I'm doing training in my facility and one of the players that trains with us comes in and immediately brags about winning the championship the weekend before, when we realized the player's team actually went 2-2 and didn't win the championship, but won the lower bracket championship and finished in ninth place instead of first place, it drives us nuts. As long as we frame those rings in the right context and allow our players to realize the significance of them, then look, the rings are reality. They're here to stay. But if you're going to develop your players to be the best athletes and competitors they can be, the best ball players they can be, if they receive one of these rings, we need to make sure we put them in context, tell them what it means or what it doesn't mean, and continue forward. Not make the ring the big deal, but winning, competing, and improving.
Thanks for watching today. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you down the road.